Dwindling player counts and a shifting focus to paid armor sets over earnable ones has the Destiny community's morale sinking lower than ever. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to hope this isn't the beginning of the end for the long-running shooter.
Yeah, it's another week, another headline about how Destiny 2 is doing worse than ever and Bungie's just on the verge of closing shop. It's not quite that drastic, but like Bruce said, I don't know, I have a lot of good memories playing Destiny. And I would like for it to, claw its way back into good graces.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, this time, these headlines mostly related to a shift in the game's earnable rewards. So this is not good. Bungie has added, or will soon add, 15 armor sets to their Eververse in-game shop, according to account by Zuhad Ali on the game post.
Yeah, that's in contrast to a paltry 5 armor skins that can actually be earned in-game. So the big problem is all the fancy new armor is just dropping right into the shop with no way to get it aside from throwing down some money. And to make matters even worse, of the 5 earnable sets in the game, 4 are reskins of existing armor sets.
If you were to buy all the new armor, it would amount to over $250 for just the armor.
Gosh, that's ridiculous. The disproportion of the money you pay for the actual content versus just all the money for shirts. Who knows? Some extended math from Reddit user Tevrin calculates a $600 price tag if you were to buy all the unique armor sets across every announced season this year.
Oof. Tevrin laments that, quote, we went from about 24 paid sets a year to 36 in the final shape to now potentially double the original with 48 this year.
Lord CBH expressed an understandable frustration in the replies, writing, quote, I hate how almost all the cosmetics are just paid now. There's virtually zero cosmetics to chase anymore, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does. New looks dropping directly into the store is just one of the many frustrations Destiny 2 players have reported since the free Ash and Iron update that launched on September 9th.
Yeah, just a few days after launch, Bungie acknowledged that the game's progression was too stingy. A lot of people were calling it bugged. It's hard to say if it was working by design or not, but they very quickly adjusted it to be a lot less grindy. But it is Destiny.
Yeah, I know, that's what you do. This update also reintroduced the Iron Banner event, which Bungie described as having, quote, an incredibly cool new set of armor.
Oh, incredibly cool. Yeah, that armor ended up being reissued armor from a 7-year-old expansion. So I guess it's cool to be able to get it again, but yeah, it's not new.
That is not new. All these little adjustments have players feeling squeezed. Reddit user El Collier summarized the sentiment, posting, quote, Bungie isn't trying to make a game you'll love or even like. They're making a game you'll tolerate.
Yeah, that's where it always ends up. They know they got you, so now it's time to squeeze ya. But not all players are tolerating it. A lot of them are just not playing anymore. Destiny laureate Paul Tassi did a pass on Destiny 2's Steam metrics for Forbes, finding that the game's player base has dropped by about 50% from the 2020 to 2023 range to now.
So it's not often that we quote Reddit users in our title for the videos, but I mean, this one's pretty succinct. Reddit user OK Programmer 1022 put it more directly than anybody. Quote, greed is going to kill you, Bungie.
Ain't that the way? That's the capitalism machine churning away, spitting out fumes in the room until people start hitting the floor. Yeah, that Reddit post saying that, like, they're making a game you'll tolerate, it really nails it more than anything. I felt that with so many things, social media, apps, like they send you just the right annoyances to keep you engaged, but not so much that you close the app. It's yeah, they're just putting as much in front of you as they can get away with. I noticed this with mobile games that, like, I would play a new game and it'd be fun, but every time I'd launch the app, there'd be one new pop-up, one new bullshit thing to click on, because they know that the more you play, the more invested you are, the more they can bank against that and cash out on you. And with every mobile game I've played, I can't think of a single exception to this. It eventually gets to the point where I realize I'm just tapping X like 5 or 6 times just to get to the game, to get past all their sales and invitations to new events and etc. And I realized, like, the majority of my time now is not even spent playing the game. It's just dodging all the bullshit that they put in the way. And once the like scale inverts like that, the spell is broken. Then I realize they know they've got me and I just don't want to be gotten. So I don't know, to shift this around to Bungie and kind of make Destiny 2 an attractive game again, I think they'd have to, like, change phases. I feel like the final shape was the vision, like that was the Destiny 2 everybody wanted, but almost immediately after that, it went into like maintenance mode or cruise mode, where they're like, okay, we did our investment, now we get it back. We earned all these players back. But I don't think they did. Not for long enough. It has to be like multiple years to really build that that endearment. Is that even a word? Build that relationship back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All the Reddit users are absolutely right. And there's really not much you can do. I tend to look for blame. I tend to think about like who to blame. Generally, it's not the devs. The devs are just trying to make a fun game most of the time. I don't know that I've ever run into a developer who is like, boy, I can't wait to squeeze my user for every single nickel. Like, usually it's the executives. And since Sony bought Bungie a few years ago, whether or not it's the executives at Bungie are like, no, Sony doesn't interfere. No, I don't buy that for a second. I'm sure that Sony executives are reaching down into the Bungie executives, and I'm sure the Bungie executives, they're all meeting together and being like, look, your P&L, profit and loss for the year, you're operating in a razor thin margin, or you're operating at a negative. We have to figure out how to make more money, and we got to do it fast. That's why they're doing what Lawrence just said, which is like they went from the final shape, which seemed like, hey, they're going to kind of reboot Destiny, cool, to bang, more microtransactions as fast as they could, because they're like, we're going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to shut down, certain arms of your company, and eventually maybe even the game. So we got to start making money more and more. And unfortunately, Destiny is not in that position anymore when they can reach into the pockets of their users, because they've been doing it for so long. And now, like Lawrence said, the spell is broken. They've started. The users have started figuring out what's actually going on, and they don't like it even more so than they did, 5 years ago. So I'm going to blame the executives on this one. And strangely, maybe it's because Bungie built such a large company that now it can't be supported, under its own weight. Maybe it's now like they've hired up so much and they've gotten so much bloat or whatever. I don't even know if it's bloat, but it's just they've hired so much that now they can't support what they've got with the game that they have. And this is it's just a real bummer all the way around for me. I don't like seeing this because I think the game that they've made is amazing, and I think all the stuff that they have is so cool. So when they start really, diving into these microtransactions, it's just really sad. A sad state of affairs for people that clearly love Destiny. These Reddit users play thousands of hours of this game, and they love it. And they don't want it to die a capitalistic death.
Yeah, the inevitable end of the road. Hopefully it can change around. But I mean, the one user that was frustrated, they had nothing to chase. Like they're not lying to themselves about the state of the game. They just want a goal. And now the only goal is just dropping money in the store, or the most prominent goal. Yeah, it's a shame. I think your characterization of Bungie is accurate, at least from an exterior perspective. They got bought by Sony. They did a massive hiring wave. And then none of that investment or work resulted in product. Not that I could tell. I mean, Final Shape was very, very good. But yeah, Marathon doesn't seem like a game that's been mega invested into. It almost seems like a minimum viable game. Like maybe they did loads and loads and loads of prototyping, but I don't like none of that money investment aside from that admittedly sick cinematic trailer. None of that money investment is yielding game content for us to buy and enjoy. So where did it go? There's a very broad assumption I can make from there about companies that get a lot of investment and release no products. Typically, a lot of people kick up their dream projects, the side projects, and then people spend a year or more kind of not driving towards a releasable product. Not really. They're allowed to escape the reality of the profit and loss, like you said, Bruce, for a while. And once people work like that, it's very, very difficult, I think, to make the whole work culture shift back towards working for a living. I'm not saying dev is lazy. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, this is sort of you wake up to the reality of it. And when it is merely just somebody stepping on the gas of the thing that earns money, like do more of that. Just do that twice as much and we'll earn twice as much money. That definitely feels like executives looking down on the project, just looking at the line items of how they're spending money and making money, and they see the one line item that's big and they make that one bigger. And this is how it turns out. And then this is also, I think, a side effect of Bungie splitting staff between what I assume to be a bunch of fictitious projects that never came to be, and then also Marathon and a couple of other things. Whatever co-dev they were doing with PlayStation, they were kind of the like games as services czar for a while. At least that's how it was made to sound externally. And they did not guide Sony into a raft of successful games as service games. So yeah, it just seems like they were spending their time on a lot of things that didn't yield profits. And now they have to be extra hawkish about that, which is, we're going to make all our artists make paid for cosmetics because that's a very clean, like, work to money return.
Yeah, this makes me real sad. Because I think you pretty much described exactly how it's playing out. And, whether or not, hopefully the developers that work there are not feeling like garbage. I hope that they are being treated well and paid well and have a great work-life balance. Usually that's kind of what happens when you get a lot of investment into your company. So maybe they're feeling great. I hope. Who knows? I'm not sure. Reports I've read, they are not saying that. They are not saying they feel good. But again, I don't want Bungie to go under. I want them to keep making great stuff because that's what they're good at.
Yeah, we can hope. Well, here's an Inside Games top tip. Keep some money in your wallet. Get some free video games. That's right, Inside Games is yet again on your side, trying to make sure you have the spendable cash you need to get those armor sets. It's a new week, new free video games on Amazon Prime. We've got Residual and Fate, the Cursed King. Special note, Spelljammer Pirates of Realm Space, still available. Still free, you can still get it.
You didn't read the whole title of that one. It's Dungeons and Dragons Spelljammer Pirates of Realm Space. Come on.
We don't need to push people away from Spelljammer by reading the whole title, just the coolest parts. In addition, Epic Games is offering Project Winter, Samorost 2, and also Road Redemption is free on Epic. It's not like part of their free Epic program, it just happens to be free. But yeah, Road Redemption is kind of like a modern Road Rash. It's cool.
We also have a brand new segment, Inside Games, Real Acts of Bravery. This is a real act of bravery. It's really great. Caleb Gutierrez refunded Borderlands 4 by copy and pasting Randy's text into the feedback form. Boom!
Boom, got him. And it worked too. I think they had actually played the game over the 2 hours. But when the main man himself says, give this customer his money back, you gotta listen. Yeah, Caleb actually just emailed me with a screenshot and I was like, that's awesome. So,
nailed it.
So there it goes, Randy, you got your wish. One less customer.
And I also wanted to say thank you very much for the response on our video from yesterday. You guys have, obviously, I know that there's always support for what we do, but we don't often get to see everybody come out all at once. So thank you very, very much. Like, you guys have been really encouraging, and let's hope that YouTube figures out their shit sooner rather than later. I see a lot of people theorizing in the comments and things like that, and that's the problem, is that nobody knows. Nobody knows why this happened, and why it happened to a lot of creators you probably know and love. So thank you very much for all of your actual like Patreons and super chats and all your amazing words of encouragement. We really appreciate it, like, the most.
We feel extra appreciated, which is nice because YouTube isn't making us feel that way right now. But yes, there's been a surge on the Patreon. Thank you very much for that. We'll have many Patreon names to read in the future, but that's awesome. And yeah, if you're watching this video for the first time, for the fifth time, whatever, thank you very much. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us and chat about games. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. You can also check out our Patreon, like we mentioned. All of our content is free there. It's not like just paid shit left and right. And another thing that's free, keep mentioning this, my personal select Lawrence Dank meme of the day. Every episode gets one sick internet picture associated with it. And again, it's all free. So if you want to see some funny internet pics, go check it out. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time on Inside Games.